Okay. Yeah. So there was a question in regards to the what's that? Puranas, Upapuranas, Josna Devi Mataji. I looked up to it. There was so much information out there. These are listed as 18 Upapuranas here, important Upapuranas, but different Puranas are recommending different 18 Puranas. So that way, there is a lot of variation, even in the importance given to the Upapuranas and categorization into different modes. So there's a lot of variability there. So I couldn't really find any standard information to convey regarding the Upapuranas. Puranas was authorized one, so we have that. And regarding the Vedic Vedanta Sutras, the question was, are they scattered throughout the Vedas or are they compiled differently? The answer is they are compiled separately, and there are about 550 Vedanta Sutras or Brahma Sutras divided into 4 chapters. First chapter deals with the information about the absolute truth. Second chapter deals with different philosophies to understand the absolute truth. Remember the 6 Shaddarshan, right? That's there. And the third chapter in Vedanta Sutra deals about Sambandha, a practical path to realize the absolute truth. And the 4th chapter in Vedanta Sutra talks about why we should be realizing the absolute truth. These are the 4 chapters in Vedanta Sutra, which consists of 550 Vedic aphorisms. That was the answer to your question, Shamakishwari Mataji, last time. So now we were talking about the specialty of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is what I wanted to show you last time, but I didn't have this information ready. These are beautiful words. Just with this first sloka before Bhagavatam. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama-sloke bhaktir bhavati nayishtike. Yeah. Srimad Bhagavatam itself gives the information why it is unique and special amongst all the Puranas. You are seeing only few here, but as you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, you will get more and more. So I just had to compile some starting from the 1st canto to 12th canto. And as we were discussing last time, first one, the very first sloka gives the definition of absolute truth. We didn't expand on this last time, but this is a beautiful one. What is absolute truth? You know, in Vedanta Sutra, we just discussed. The 1st chapter talks about absolute truth, right? And the commentary, the natural commentary of the Vedanta Sutra is Srimad Bhagavatam, written by Vedavyasa. And the very first sloka is describing who is that absolute truth. What's the definition of absolute truth? Yeah. So this is the definition. The 7 characteristic features of absolute truth that is not present in the other Puranas. Yeah. Janmadhyasya yato anvayaditaratas chadeshu abhijñasvara tene brahma hridayadi kavaye mohyanti yasurayah tejo varimridam yadha vinimayo yatra trisargom risha dhamna svena sada nirashtakuhakam satyam param dhimahi. Dhimahi, let's meditate. On whom? The absolute truth, Satyam. Param is transcendental, Satyam, the absolute truth. So, what are the characteristics of absolute truth? I will quickly go over this because we will go in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam important slokas, because this is one of the important slokas. So there we can go in detail, but we'll just go over quickly with this in this context. The 7 characteristics are that absolute truth is primeval cause of creation, maintenance, and destruction. And itaratas chardeshu abhigna, all knower, cognizant, and swarat, independent. Tene brahma hridayadi kavaye. That absolute truth, here Lord Shri Krishna, he is the enlightener. He enlightened Brahma, Lord Brahma. But at the same time, he is the bewilderer also. Muhyanti yasurayaha. His Maya energy can be very, very bewildering. Tejo varimridam yadha vinimayo yatra trisargo amrasha. All that is virtual appears real, factual, because of his Maya. And he is the foundation of all that energy. That is virtual and that is real. Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam. So his abode is nirasta kuhakam. There is no darkness there. And dhamna svena, he is eternally existent. So on this absolute truth, let's meditate together. Dhimahis, meditate together. This is very unique for Srimad Bhagavatam, starting with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. If someone is qualified with all these things, then that's absolute truth. And that's Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is declaring. Absolute truth. And next one is, we talked about teaching unadulterated religion, dharma of soul, right?
Mataji,
Huh? Yes?
sorry to disturb you, Mataji. Can you change it into presentation mode?
Oh, sorry, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. Presentation mode. Show presenter view. Yes. Again, you don't see a screen there. This is somehow it obstructs me. This happened last time. I'm trying to close it. All right, we're good. Yeah. So that's where is my next slide? Okay, fine. So that's the first one. It gives the definition. Srimad Bhagavatam gives the definition of absolute truth. And next one is definition of real religion. This is what we discussed last time, right? Dharma projita kaitava atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Kaitava dharma is twisted or materially motivated religion. We already talked about this last time, but I want to bring to your attention about what real religion means. What is the definition of real religion? In the discussion last time, we said religion means, rituals for a purpose. For dharma, so we can get artha, and dharma to get artha, so we can fulfill our kama, material desires. So that is a materially motivated religion. Srimad Bhagavatam says that's not the religion. That is the dharma of the soul, unadulterated religion. That's the dharma of the soul. So at the very outset, it is rejecting materially motivated religion. Okay, this is the definition of real religion given by Srimad Bhagavatam. First, reject the materially motivated religion, and it should propound the highest truth, not materially motivated, religiously twisted truth, but it should propound highest truth. And that kind of unadulterated religion is generally understood by non-envious people who does not have any material motivation. So that's why it says only non-envious or pure devotees can understand. Vedyam vastavam atra vastu. This is nirmatsaranam satam. Matsara is envy. Nirmatsaranam, there is no envy. So those people who does not have envy in them, they will be able to understand this real religion, because they are not interested in materially motivated religion, artha and kama. That's the third characteristic of real religion. And next one, it presents absolute reality. Absolute reality. Vedyam vastavam. Vastavam, this is Vedyam. Vastavam is the absolute truth. Atra vastu shivadam. Shivadam is auspiciousness. So this kind of unadulterated religion, which is bhakti in this case, because that's the religion or dharma of the soul. Remember we talked about dharma of the water is to wet, dharma of the fire is to burn, dharma of the soul is to reciprocate with the Supreme Soul. So that kind of dharma is auspicious to all the souls. And that's that kind of religion gives welfare to all. And when somebody is naturally engaged in the dharma of reciprocation with Bhagavan, then that automatically uproots threefold miseries. Right? So, tapatrayon moolanam, three kind of miseries. Tapatraya, unmoolanam is uprooted. And next one is, what is the need of any other Purana when there is Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni-krite, this Mahamuni Vedavyasa, or Vedavyasa of our Kali Yuga is Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, who, when he has given the Srimad Bhagavatam at the very ripened stage of his realization, that's after interacting with Narada Muni, getting instructions from Narada Muni. What else do we need other than this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is written by this Mahamuni Krite? Kim Vaparair Ishvaraha. Mahamuni Krite Kim Vaparair. Then next one is Ishvara Satyo Hridi Avarudyate. This Srimad Bhagavatam, when attentively and faithfully read and heard, then Supreme Lord is established within the heart at once. So these seven things are that kind of religion which gives all these seven things, satisfies these seven criteria, is called real religion. That's the dharma, and that's given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. And the third one, as we discussed, is real religion is there, that is reciprocation with Bhagavan. But when we look at Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a lot of reciprocation with Bhagavan. The demigods are reciprocating in Srimad Bhagavatam, and Devahuti and Kardamuni. Kardamuni was reciprocating with the Lord in the heart. So there are many devotees there with different degree and intensity of reciprocation and intensity of reciprocation. But when we come to the 10th canto, where Lord Krishna is reciprocating with his devotees in all 5 rasas in Vrindavan, the intensity of reciprocation with Bhagavan is highest in Vrindavan in 10th canto. And there, that intensity is Preeti, Krishna Prema, or Preeti, which is unstoppable, unmotivated. Right? That is present only in Srimad Bhagavatam, not in any Purana. About Lord Krishna and about his loving reciprocations in 5 different rasas is present only in Srimad Bhagavatam.
They were given samples.
Right? So he is the abode of the rasa.
thought you brought this.
And Srimad Bhagavatam is welcoming us. Actually, Bhagavatam is reminding us who we are. Look at this one. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. You are a rasika. You are the relation of rasa, or soul, or jiva. You are not just something that is meant to hang in Brahmajyoti or something. You are to reciprocate that rasa with Bhagavan. So come, reciprocate that rasa with Bhagavan. That's the welcoming of Srimad Bhagavatam, to reciprocate with Lord Shri Krishna. This is present only in Srimad Bhagavatam. So absolute truth, real religion, which is the dharma of the soul, and the most intensified dharma of the soul towards Bhagavan, which is unstoppable, spontaneous, and unmotivated. Or prema. And very close to this. Actually, there is one more. Yes, Nigama Kalpataro Kalitam. There's one more sloka emphasizing that is the rasa. I thought, Shrinvata Shratya Nitya. Okay, there's one more sloka. 12th chapter, yeah. Rati Kwachit, yeah. Na Anyatra Shyat Rati Kwachit. If you look at these two slokas, Nigama Kalpataror Galita, right? Fruit of Vedic tree. Again, 4 Vedas, right? And what did we talk about the Vedas? What is the essence of Vedas? It's given as Vedanta Sutra. We talked about it, right? And we just discussed that Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary of Vedanta Sutra. So that's the meaning of Nigama Kalpa Tarur Galitam. If you look at the other sloka too, Sarva Vedanta Saramhi Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate. So if you want to know about the Vedas, go for Vedanta Sutra, which is the essence of Vedas. If Vedanta Sutras is all filled with the formulas and you need a commentary to understand, then go for Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the one that is written by Vedavyasa. So knowing Srimad Bhagavatam is equal to knowing Vedanta Sutra, is equal to knowing the essence of Vedas. Sarva Vedanta Saram hi Shri Bhagavatam Ishyate. Not only this is the natural commentary or the essence of Vedas, but it is the abode of rasa. Tad rasamrata triptasya. And whoever tastes this nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, triptasya, they are so satisfied with that. Na anyatra syadrati kvachit, na anyatra. They will not have taste for any other literature. Rati is attachment, taste. Na anyatra, for any other literature. So the nectar and the rasa of the reciprocation with the Bhagavan by the devotees, that is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. When somebody hears about those pastimes, such wonderful reciprocation with the devotees and the Bhagavan, when somebody hears that and follows a path to realize that, and with the process of Bhakti Yoga, when they practically apply that through loving devotional service, they get the taste of that Bhakti, that rasa, Bhakti rasa, pure Bhakti rasa. And once they get the taste of it, they will not want to read any other literature because that rasa is not available in any other literature. And that intensity of the rasa that is present with the devotees in Vrindavan, that's not available anywhere. See, I've read somewhere. Lord Krishna is known as Natavara, right? Lord Shiva is known as Nataraja. Can somebody tell the difference? What happens when Lord Shiva dances and when Lord Krishna dances?
When Lord Shiva dances, destruction happens. And when Lord Krishna dances, everyone, all living entities becomes blissful, happy.
Enlivened, yeah. So, when Lord Shiva dances, because the destruction has to happen, again, he's the in charge of the mood of ignorance. That's the functionality of Lord Shiva. But in any case, when Lord Shiva dances, destruction happens. When Lord Krishna dances, all the souls are enlivened. They dance with Krishna. That is what bhakti is. When bhakti is practiced and reciprocated with Bhagavan, then they also get enlivened. Because bhakti rasa is like that. It makes the soul dance in joy when reciprocating with Bhagavan. So when somebody tastes that kind of bhakti rasa, which is bringing joy, joy of devotional service, unmotivated devotional service, that is something that we could relate to start with. What is the joy? The joy is found in the service. And what kind of service is that? Unmotivated devotional service. Who are we doing it for? For the Lord. And so when we are trying to serve on that platform, then we get a droplet of the taste of bhakti rasa. And as the droplet increases and one day forms into a big ocean, then that is bhakti rasa amrita sindhu. But in any case, the taste is so addicting that we don't want to go for any other taste. Na anyatra shyat rati kvachet. Why is it like that? That we don't want to go for any other literature? It's because of the bhakti rasa, intensity of the bhakti rasa that is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So that's about the rasa that is present in Srimad Bhagavatam, that is reciprocated between Bhagavan and his devotees. And the next one, can somebody please read that sloka and then maybe translation?
I can read my
Yeah, please go ahead.
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह कलौ नष्टदृशामीश पुराणार्को अधुनोदितः.
Translation.
The Bhagavata Purana is as brilliant as a sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost the vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you too. So this Bhagavata Purana, this is compared as an incarnation. We know the other incarnations, right? And what do those incarnations do when they come? Generally, what does Bhagavad Gita say? Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Huh? So the incarnations generally come to establish dharma. Then what is this incarnation, Srimad Bhagavatam? What is the purpose of this incarnation? Is it establishing dharma too? Right? Dharma samsthapana arthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Is it establishing the dharma? And what is the dharma? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is a literary incarnation. If Lord Krishna is to be seen, then that's deity form. If Lord Krishna is to be heard, then if the descriptions of Lord Krishna and pastimes of Lord Krishna are to be heard, then that is Srimad Bhagavatam. And if Lord Krishna is to be heard, that's holy name too. Finally, there will not be any difference between Srimad Bhagavatam and holy name, because The holy name has Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. What does Srimad Bhagavatam have? Srimad Bhagavatam is describing about the Nama, the holy name, the names of Lord, and Rupa, describing how beautiful Shyam Sundara is, and the pastimes of Shyam Sundara with his devotees. Nama, Rupa, and wonderful qualities of the Lord. So all that is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam is present in the holy name and is perceived when Shuddhanam, when we are able to take that Shuddhanam, then all that is perceived. So no difference between the Harinam and Srimad Bhagavatam, because both are Krishna himself. Okay, so that way Srimad Bhagavatam is a literary incarnation and establishing the dharma of the soul. Remember the very second sloka, unadulterated religion, dharma of the soul, which is bhakti. Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. But the first part of it is, what is that? So to reclaim, to protect the pious. Pavitranaya sadhuna. To reclaim the pious people. So how is it reclaiming? Srimad Bhagavatam also should reclaim the pious people because it's an incarnation. These two are the things that an incarnation should do. Should reclaim the pious people and to establish dharma. So Srimad Bhagavatam is reclaiming the pious people by the devotees by giving description about Lord Krishna, giving pastimes about Lord Krishna. So one may hear this, get absorbed in the information of the Lord, and revive the relationship with the Lord. So that's how Srimad Bhagavatam is reclaiming the pious souls or devotees. And this is why Srimad Bhagavatam is considered an incarnation, because it is doing these two, it is addressing these two purposes that an incarnation would do. Yeah. And we'll go to the next one. Yeah, this is a beautiful one. We just learned that Krishna in the form of sound is Srimad Bhagavatam, and Lord Krishna, the deity form of Krishna, is also present in Srimad Bhagavatam. How is it? Lord Krishna is present throughout, from the first canto to the very last canto. How is it? Padma Purana beautifully explains what are the cantos of Bhagavatam and how is it a transcendental form of the Lord that is present in the Bhagavatam. Look at it, the first and second canto of Bhagavatam. Padav Yadiyo Pradamam Dvitiyo. The first and second cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam are Padav, lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And the third and fourth cantos are his thighs. Fifth canto is his navel. Sixth canto his chest. Seventh and eighth cantos are his arms. And I'll let somebody to please continue from there. Otherwise, I feel I'm just talking to myself. Somebody please read that. You may read the whole thing, please. Yeah, whole thing, please. You go ahead.
Padau yadiyau pradamaddvitiyau tritiya turyau katitau yadoru navistata panchamaeva sasto bhujantaram doryugalam tatanyau kantasturajan navamo yadiyo mukaravindam dashama prapullam ekadasho yasya lalatapattam Shiropi tu dvadasha eva bhati tam adidevam karunanidanam tamalavarnam suhitavarat vataram अपरा संसार समुद्र सेतुं भजमहे भगवता स्वरूपम्.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Jamahe Bhagavata Swarup. Thank you. Translation, somebody please.
The first and the second cantos of the Bhagavatam are Shri Krishna's lotus feet.
Uh-huh.
Third and the fourth cantos are his thighs. The fifth canto is his navel. The sixth canto is his chest. The seventh and the eighth cantos are his arms. The ninth canto is his throat. The 10th canto is his beautiful lotus face. The 11th canto is his forehead. The 12th canto is his head. I bow down to that Lord, the ocean of mercy, whose color is like that of a tamala tree, and who appears in this world for the welfare of all. I worship him as the bridge for crossing the unfathomable ocean of material existence. The Bhagavatam has appeared as his very self, Padma
Yeah,
Purana.
thank you, Prabhu. See, the other Purana is endorsing Bhagavata Purana as Krishna himself. Padma Purana is endorsing Srimad Bhagavatam like that. There are other quotes from other Purana also, Skanda Purana like that, endorsing that Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. When the absolute truth personified is Krishna, and when he is described in detail, and the transcendental body of Lord Krishna is Srimad Bhagavatam, it just speaks to itself how Srimad Bhagavatam is so special by itself. Yes. So this is the same thing, but in a different slide. The first two cantos, lotus feet. And this is where you see a lot of information about the primary creation and secondary creation, like that. The first and second canto. Because without knowing about the whole creation, the modes, and how these modes come together, and how Jiva is actually trapped in all these layers of, layers by false ego, intellect, mind, the Panchabhutas. Unless we know how insignificant and how vulnerable we are, and how magnanimous and independent and powerful Bhagavan is, we will start to compare the pastimes that are present in 10th canto. We will start to compare ourselves with Bhagavan. So before we hear about human-like pastimes of Bhagavan, Bhagavatam is warning us, showing us what our position is, our status is, a speck of dust, struggling with the modes. Here you are, and there you go. As you go to the canto after canto to 10th canto of Bhagavatam, Bhagavan is present. Though he's looking like human, a human-like form, he is transcendental, and you are trapped speck of dust jiva in the modes. So those pastimes that are described in 10th canto are for your purification. So that kind of understanding comes only when we know what our position is. And that is that we will realize in the first two cantos. And as we slowly go to the 10th canto, one after the other, by that time, we will understand that Lord Krishna Bhagavan is transcendental personality. So his pastimes are also transcendental, though they look like human. Okay? So that's the transcendental body of Lord Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a question. Okay, what happens when somebody reads other Puranas? And what happens when somebody reads Srimad Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam itself is saying the effect that one undergoes, experiences when they read Srimad Bhagavatam is very unique. And what is that? Spiritual revolution, Viplavam, spiritual transformation happens from within. So inner spiritual revolution, that is brought about by Srimad Bhagavatam only. Can somebody read the sloka, please? Yeah.
Tadvag Visargo Jagannatha Viplavo Yasmin Prati Shlokam Abadhyavati Api Namani Anantasya Yascho Nikatani Yat Shrinvanti Gayanti Grinanti Sadhava.
Sadhava. Thank you, Mataji. Translation, please.
On the other hand, go ahead. ma'am.
On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc. of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation full of transcendental words directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, any information about Lord Krishna, the absolute truth, because it is spiritual, and we are also spiritual, what we call it as, frequency match. Then the revolution starts inside. We feel like, I guess that's where I belong to. There is something happening. Yes, this is making sense. So the transformation happens when this message of message about the absolute truth is given through Srimad Bhagavatam. And the beauty of that message about Lord Krishna is, even if it is imperfectly said, even if the message is conveyed imperfectly, message is conveyed imperfectly, and even if the speaker is not so qualified, because the subject matter is Bhagavan, it's going to have its potency on the hearer and of course on the speaker too. So that's the glory of the subject matter, Lord Shri Krishna. And Viplavam, the revolution, is that happens only with Srimad Bhagavatam, not with the other Puranas, but Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, that Viplavam happens here. And the next one. Why are we doing bhakti? If I have to ask, if you ask yourself, why am I doing bhakti? Bhakti is abhideya. We are practicing a process. Why? Prayojana, why? Because we want to experience that loving reciprocation with Bhagavan, right? And Srimad Bhagavatam gives that. It establishes the Lord in the heart by giving all the information about the Lord and allowing us to practice the process of bhakti. And I'll let you read this sloka, please, somebody.
Should I read, Mataji?
Yeah, somebody, anyone, please go ahead.
Prabhu, you want to read? Ariveni Prabhu?
No, Mataji.
It's me, Mataji. Please go ahead, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Yeah. Shinvata Shraddhaya Nityam Granatascha Swacheshtitam Kalena Nati Dirghena Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. Hare Krishna.
Translation. Arvind Prabhu, you want to do that?
Yes, Mataji. Persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, manifested in their hearts within a short time. Thank you.
Have you heard that? Lord Krishna manifested in heart and time frame.
Yes, Mataji. Like the previous loka, when you were saying, like, I was like recollecting something.
Yeah, Prabhu, I mean, Bhagavatam is saying this process is so potent. If you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna will be manifested in your heart within a short time.
I
It
didn't
is
know that the
specifically
feelings,
saying short time. How, Prabhu?
I didn't know that the feelings are also mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Mataji.
What feelings, Prabhu?
Like after listening to Bhagavatam or reading Bhagavatam, like how one feels. So that is also mentioned in Bhagavatam. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Bhagavatam is all about the rasa. Rasa is the melody and the mellow, the feel. Yeah. Material to spiritual transformation happens.
So true,
That's the
Mataji.
revolution. Huh, Prabhu?
So true, Mataji. I can
Yeah.
feel that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. The attachment and attraction to the message of Bhagavatam. But if we want to look into this sloka, then we'll be like, let me see. I think I've been hearing Bhagavatam for quite some time. What does the short time mean? Is this working for me? But it's not just hearing. Srimad Bhagavatam, it is saying how we should receive the message in from Bhagavatam. Shranvata, hearing, Shraddhaya, with faith, and Nityam. Nityam is always, regularly. Granatascha Swacheshtitam. We have to contemplate on that and put it in application. And with our efforts, we should be able to contemplate what we have heard. Kalena na atidirgena. Na atidirgena. Dirgena is long time. And Bhagavatam is saying, na atidirgena. Not long time. It doesn't take too long. For what? For the Lord to be established in the heart. In other words, jaha deke, wherever one sees, then they will be able to see Lord Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. So those slokas in Bhagavad Gita, they will come into practice. If Srimad Bhagavatam message is received like that, they see Lord Krishna everywhere. So this can happen when Srimad Bhagavatam message is received like that, with all that attention and faith and eagerness from the realized souls. That's why we have the purports of Srila Prabhupada. But so that's what Srimad Bhagavatam can do, starting from spiritual revolution from within to establishing the Lord of the heart, Lord Krishna, in a very short period of time. This happens only with Srimad Bhagavatam. Establishing the Lord in the heart happens only with Srimad Bhagavatam, not with the other Puranas. And who said that? Bhagavatam is saying that. Shrinvata Shraddhaya Nityam. Okay. This is the last one. This is for the next Upapurana. But this is the last one, yeah. Establishing. Once the Lord in the heart is established, and when somebody is able to perceive the Lord everywhere, all the time, that is Krishna consciousness. Total, full Krishna consciousness. Not only perceiving Lord Krishna everywhere all the time, but reciprocating with all fondness. That is transcendental loving devotional service. It could be with the actions, with the thoughts, with the mood. All that is reciprocation. And when one is able to do that at all times, then that's Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. Srimad Bhagavatam says, yes, that is possible. Please receive the message that is present in Bhagavatam in a way that is prescribed. And this is the prescription. Shraddhaya Nityam Granatascha Svacheshta. All right, I am going to pause here. I would like to, I'll stop screen sharing. I would like to hear your reflections, discussion, And if there are any questions, that's fine too. We can discuss, but please share your reflections too. Whatever touched the most. Stop sharing. Okay, I got it. Who can share? Right. All right. What are those things? Can we do slideshow presentations? It was 8:27. Kaushik Prabhu, did you mean to say something? I see your message here.
No, Mataji, this was earlier, just so
earlier.
you can do the screen sharing larger.
Oh, okay, I see. We have done.
Thank you,
that.
Mataji.
Yes,
It
thank
was
you.
done, yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. I just saw the chat box. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yeah. Yes,
Mataji, I like that shloka where it's mentioned that when you read Srimad Bhagavatam and you hear about it, Krishna is manifested within the heart in a very short period of time. So that is a big relief. Like we don't have to think much. We just have to keep on constantly practicing from our end, and then the mercy just flows.
Yeah, thank you. That's a big relief, a hope, a big hope, and a prescription is also given there, how to receive the message. And yes, keep doing. Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
I learned today like Srimad Bhagavatam is like another incarnation. So I never thought in that angle about Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, we always feel Sri Krishna or Sri Rama, all those are incarnations of Vishnu or Lord Krishna. But now like Srimad Bhagavatam also looking at that angle is completely different. So thank you so much, Mataji, for letting us know.
Yeah, Prabhu. The incarnation that does internal action, spiritual revolution. And the other incarnations, they do a lot of external action, killing the enemies. You know, quiet incarnation that works within Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes,
so,
Prabhu.
Mataji, this sloka where we learned about like different cantos and what each canto represents which parts of Krishna. It reminded me of one occasion we had gone for book distribution and we were actually just planning to distribute like Bhagavad Gita, but after describing this, I think it was Aditya Prabhu if I remember, and he was describing this full part, whatever we read right now, and the person got so impressed that he took the whole Bhagavatam set with this section. So it reminded me of that occasion at that time.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you. We often, we go to temple, we have all that reverence to the deity that is present on the altar. We bow down, we pay our respects, we do dandavase, sab karte. We do that to the deity. But the same deity is quietly present within us, is quietly present in Srimad Bhagavatam, working within us. We generally don't give that kind of status that we give to deity, to Srimad Bhagavatam, message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Prabhu, thank you. It's so nice to hear glorification about the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's as it gets imprinted more and more. Itna relief hai. Please go on. Say something.
Mataji, I have a question. So Bhagavatam is from Bhagavata Purana, and then it is glorification of Lord Krishna. So, but Bhagavad Gita is only one part where it was narration. So when you were talking, like Prabhuji said before, about each canto representing, so there is another one that says that Bhagavatam is about life of Sri Krishna. So are we going to talk about like the life in the chapters, or are we going to talk about those aspects?
Yeah. Bhagavatam, the life of Sri Krishna is present in 10th canto, Mataji. Yes, we will get to that also. It starts with creation, how the whole universe came into existence, so-called Big Bang theory from a scientific perspective. But it starts with creation from the first canto and will take us to the life of Lord Krishna, which is in 10th canto. Yes, we will get there, Mataji.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hari.
One question, Mataji. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra written by Vedavyas. So, in the Vedanta Sutra, it's a Shruti. So, they came directly from the Lord?
Yeah. Vedavyas, after he compiled 4 Vedas, he himself put down this Vedanta Sutra. So since it has come from Veda and is the essence of Vedas, it is part of that. Yeah, Shruti.
Okay. And one small experience I would share. When 5-6 years ago, I started coming to Bhakti Vriksha initially. I think it was almost 6 months I've been coming to Bhakti Vriksha. I was liking all what I was learning from the Gita. But my heart was still saying that Krishna is the supreme. Like, I don't think I want to believe in that. And I decided that, I will keep that fact. And especially Lord Krishna, from growing up, I never understood him. His activities were like very, I don't know what he's doing kind of thing. Lord Sri Rama was understood, Maryada Purushottama, that's how we should behave. Lord Krishna, because I never understood, I thought, okay, I don't want to get into it because I might offend or something. I don't understand it. Let's keep him aside. So when I came to our Bhakti Vriksha classes, I said, okay, I don't think I agree that Lord Krishna is the supreme. I'll keep that aside. And whatever I'm liking, I will go ahead with that. I think after 6 months or so, and at that time, I had no idea that there is something called Srimad Bhagavatam that exists. Somehow I came into the audio book by Bhurijan Prabhu of Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't know how. And I started listening to it. And I think not more than a week or 2, my heart accepted Krishna. There was a change in heart. There was something changed in the heart. That's, I can say. I mean, not that Krishna is there or I'm too far. I don't know when the mercy comes, but there was some change there, that stubbornness which says, leave Krishna aside. I don't think. So just one thing, I thought I'll just share it as we read that shloka.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. The one that you're talking about is Bhurijana Prabhu from VIHE. That's the audio that I forwarded to you. Yeah, those are canto by canto by Bhurijana Prabhu. Yeah, that's an awesome one too. And my experience is the same. When I was in India, until I came in here, I never understood, and I was thinking, how can this personality be God? I don't get this. So I had to put the whole thing aside because I didn't know how to handle us, how to understand the whole thing. But after I came here and stepped into ISKCON temple and read Srila Prabhupada book, that was an eye-opener for me. I'm like, where was I all this time? What did I know about Hinduism in first place? And what did I know about any God in first place? And especially Krishna. Whatever I saw in the movies, on the serials, man, I had to undo all that thing. And this is the real information about Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. That's what brought me to ISKCON, actually. That's what kept me in ISKCON. The philosophy that Srila Prabhupada has presented so authentically, so clearly, in a very simple way. And I started having all the answers for all the questions I ever had and will have. So yes, I'm with you, Mataji. Day and night difference was just like that. In a day, after holding Srila Prabhupada book, and after I heard from him, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like, whoa, turning on the light. It's a bulb. When you turn on the bulb, it's a, yeah, same here. That is the magic of a sadhu. Ajnana Timirandasya, he opens the eyes. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Mataji, same here too.
Yeah, same here.
Mataji, Josna Devi Mataji.
Huh?
Josna Devi Mataji has touched all our hearts because I think everybody has come from the same place.
Especially coming from India.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Mataji,
Mataji.
I think, like you said, just after we ended, you said, how we pay respects to the deities, and and how we worship the deities, but not Srimad Bhagavatam, not considering that as Krishna. That is a very good point in itself of how we should take care. And then the last shloka you shared as well, that if you continue to read, hear, and practice and be sincere in it, the short time it might take to, hopefully Krishna might come in your heart. He's already there. It's your realization, I think.
Yeah, very well said, Prabhu. The 2 slokas, there is a connection between those two. The Lord Krishna in the deity form, Lord Krishna is present in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But that deity present in the Srimad Bhagavatam needs to be worshipped properly, as we worship the deity on the altar. And how do we worship the deity of Krishna that is present in Srimad Bhagavatam? That's the second sloka that you're talking about. Shrinvatam Swakatam Krishna. Granatascha Swacheshtitam. Those are the angas of worship of the deity present in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Not like when we see darshan, we will be seeing darshan on the cell phones also. Quick glance, okay, what's next? What's next? Is that darshan really? Did you really honor the deity that is on the altar? Not really. It's just a scroll through and you saw, okay, nice, move on, yeah, good. If Srimad Bhagavatam information is also taken like that, quick darshans, we know what happens. But if the deity present in Srimad Bhagavatam is worshipped with the angas that Srimad Bhagavatam prescribed, and what are those angas? Shrinvatam, Shraddhaya, Nityam, Granatasta, Swacheshtitam. That's all it's asking for. Then Kalena Nati Dirgena. See, you have worshipped the deity so well with all the angas. Then the deity will be present, will be manifested to you. Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. So that's how we worship the deity in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, Prabhu, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mataji, I have a question. 1 second. That's as you mentioned that what I can say, as Padma Purana endorses that Srimad Bhagavatam is
Krishna
himself and all the links it has been explained, right? The lotus feet and everything. Right. In the same way, I hear that Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary of Vedanta Sutras, right, given by the Vyasadeva. Mm-hmm. Is there any such kind of Shastra proof we can refer mentioning that this is a natural commentary? Is it mentioned anywhere in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself? Or maybe I might have missed it, but I don't have that information, so I was just wondering.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. It is actually. When we, during the next presentation, it is present in one of the slideshows. It clearly says that Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural commentary, is endorsed by Veda Vyasa. It is present, and we'll come to that in the next slide. Yeah.
Mataji,
Okay.
what do you mean by that? Like, it's a natural commentary.
Okay. Means without any interpretation. See, we talked about the 6 philosophies, right? So it means they are coming up. All the rishis are coming up with their own way of interpreting to understand the Vedas. They did not compile the Vedas. Vedavyasa is the one who compiled the Vedas. So he knows what he has compiled. And that's why he's the one who wrote Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay.
So it's the same person who compiled the Veda, who wrote the Vedanta Sutra, and who wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's just natural commentary of whatever he has compiled. You see?
Mataji, one more question on what Jyotsna Mataji also said before. So with that, I was wondering, what is the sequence? Like, Vedas were before, then there was Gita was narrated in the Kurukshetra, and then it was Bhagavatam written.
Vedas were always present, but for our discussion's sake, yes, Vedas were present. The very first thing was Vedas that came into. They were always existent, and Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata, Bhishma Parva. So that is considered as Smriti. There are Prasthana Trayas, 3 Trayas. Bhagavad Gita is considered a part of Smriti, not the Shruti, because it is present in Mahabharata. But Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad. It is also given the status of Shruti because it is spoken by Bhagavan, absolute truth himself. So Bhagavad Gita came during the Dwapara Yuga, when Lord Krishna came in here to establish Dharma. But Vedas were present in the very beginning of the creation.
And Bhagavatam came after because it is about Sri Krishna.
Yeah, Bhagavata Purana was present even before Vedavyasa wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. It was present. Puranas were present when the Vedas were present, because Puranas are also 5th Veda. So Bhagavatam was present. The subject matter of Bhagavatam was present, but as Bhagavata Purana. So Vedavyasa, after he got the instruction from Narada Muni, the one that Vedavyasa wrote is Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is a little difference between the Bhagavata Purana upgrading is Srimad Bhagavatam. It's almost the same, but I have heard, I think, some chapters of 10th canto are added by Vedavyasa after his deep realization. So those changes have happened. That way, Srimad Bhagavatam was present as Bhagavata Purana even from the beginning.
Okay. And after the incarnation, the part about the incarnation, although it was known maybe, but it was written after the 10th canto.
But it is present in Bhagavata Purana. So when Vedas was present, the Puranas were present, then about the facts of Lord Krishna, how it is a unique Purana. All the slokas that we have discussed, they were all present from the very beginning. But some changes, like some slokas in the 10th canto, those changes were after meeting Narada Muni. That was in Dwapara Yuga. So the upgraded version of Srimad Bhagavatam, of Bhagavata Purana, which is Srimad Bhagavatam, is in Dwapara Yuga. But the original version, which is called Bhagavata Purana, is present from the very beginning because it's part of the 5th Veda.
Okay. Just the part where I'm wondering is that didn't leave any, it was all predicted. This will happen in Dwapar Yuga.
Ask the question again, Mataji. What is your question?
Mataji, it will, there is a part of Bhagavatam, not Bhagavat Purana, where
there is Bhavishya Purana. That Purana is totally different. Yeah, Bhavishya Purana is about predicting the future.
No, this one happened before, and then but it is about Sri Krishna, and Krishna appeared in Dwapar Yuga, so it was praised before that happened.
After the end, right? Vedavyasa?
Mataji, I think what Mataji is asking is the Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavat Purana came from Vedas or Vedanta Sutras, and that happened at the early stage of the universe creation and Brahma, and at that stage where none of this Dwapar Yugas or Kali Yugas, nothing occurred or happened, but on this particular book or this Bhagavata Purana, already it is discussed about Krishnas and devotees of Krishna and all those things. Is it something it is written before that happened actually? I think that's what Mataji trying to understand. Is that right, Mataji?
Right, yes.
I did not get the question. I'm sorry, both of you.
Okay. Mataji, I will quickly tell you in Telugu, Mataji.
Mataji, I think that, in Bhagavatam, it has mentioned about all the incarnation of the gods, right? I mean, like it starts from Lord Buddha and all Kapila Dev and everyone eventually coming to Krishna. And as per the Ashwini Mataji's understanding is that, this Bhagavata Purana is, if the Bhagavata Purana is a part of the Vedas has been given to Brahma at the time of creation, right? That means this whole conversation and everything is predicted already, or how it is related. She's trying to understand that part, I think, Mataji, if you get it. Did I make it any sense? Because the Srimad Bhagavatam is a conversation, right, Mataji, between rishis, Shaunakadi Rishi and all the rishis assembled in Naimisharanya.
Yes, Bhagavatam is a conversation. Yeah.
So if Srimad Bhagavatam is the part of Vedas, that means it is there at the time of creation, when there are no rishis or anybody is present there. That is the kind of question. But my understanding, I don't know, I may be wrong, Mataji, but my understanding is that this Bhagavatam is not the part of the Vedas originally originated, given to Brahma. Vedanta Sutra is, Vedas are different, and Vedanta Sutra is the formulas, and this after compiling everything, Vyasadeva is not happy because he has not glorified the qualities of Krishna, right? Supreme Godhead. So, so I mean, for my understanding, I am thinking the Srimad Bhagavatam is not the part of 4 Vedas. And Ashwini Mataji is thinking it is the part of 4 Vedas. I don't know.
I think this question circles back to Vedavyas is not a person, it's a position, and at what, like which particular Vedavyasa actually wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam. it circles back to that, Mataji.
Okay, now Ujjvala Mataji has to give the solution.
I'm just hearing you all, and I'm just thinking, I haven't heard that, the thoughts that could arise, that maybe the Vedavyasa is different, or maybe, this is not from the beginning. Ashwini Mataji, मुझे आप text करना please question.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, I think that will really help. Because
I'm not, and plus I'm not very well, or like I want to just confess. So
maybe
my
there
question,
is. Yeah,
my
go ahead,
question
please.
relates to very fundamentals, because at the fundamental level, I'm thinking we are seeking absolute truth, and getting closer to that absolute truth helps us in God realization. And even in the Maha Mantra, we say Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, and Krishna. So to me, that the whole description and glorification is part of that where we are right now, because I have also heard in some of the discourses, and also talking about deities, we also worship Lord Rama like same way. But when it gets very deep, then we go in a very deep level that Shri Krishna is actually the original and not the Vishnu form, because of those 4 qualities of or 4 that separate like Shri Krishna from Shri Vishnu from that avatar, right? Like when he's seated in Vaikuntha. So, but at the fundamental level, because these are written to be meant for that whole purpose of elevating human beings or human life. So all of them are glorifying in different ways, but which one happened before? Because then based on our understanding and our brains are shrinking, right, as we progress. So we can relate better to that, which is more easier. It's not that we relate to it because it's the absolute truth. I feel we relate to it better because it's closer in time to us. But that
closer in time to
is
your
very further back, right?
Yeah, and an experience that we could relate to also. Yes, closer in time and experience that we could relate to. Most of the thing, we have to keep one thing in mind, Mataji. All these, Mahayugas, they're cyclical. So which is first, which is second, that also can be different depending upon what the topic is. I would still request you, Mataji, if you could send the question to me, then that way I can try to be specific and give you the information. If I don't know, maybe I can do the search and give you the information, because does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, and Mataji, this was very helpful. Like I didn't know about a lot of, but that question was just coming from that thought that maybe that relationship will help understand which one is easy to relate, and like that's the only purpose I asked. Which one happened before? Like which was written before?
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Which was written before Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita? Is that the question?
You answered, Mataji, that Bhagavad Gita was narrated, so that only happened during Mahabharata.
Yeah.
And that one is clear, and also Puranas are much before, and like Prabhuji and other
even before Vedavyasa was present, Bhagavata Purana was existing. Bhagavata Purana was existing. Yeah. So Bhagavad Gita was in Dwapara Yuga when Lord Krishna came in. Vedavyasa upgraded Bhagavata Purana to Srimad Bhagavatam. So to answer your question concisely, Bhagavata Purana or Srimad Bhagavatam comes first, because Bhagavata Purana was present before.
Okay.
Yeah.
That answers, Mataji. And then parts of it were changed after the
realization from Narada Muni. Yes. Instruction from Narada Muni. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that is called Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. When
So
Lord Krishna is properly glorified, when Lord Krishna is abundantly and properly glorified, giving due respect and value to him, then that is Srimad Bhagavatam. When this Purana was present, one among many other Puranas, that was Bhagavata Purana. So that upgrading, detailed explanations of the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and abundant glorification of Lord Krishna is Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the difference between Bhagavata Purana and Srimad. Yeah. Right.
So Mataji, I think originally Ashwini Mataji was asking because Bhagavad Purana came before, as you said, because Bhagavad Gita and Krishna came in Dwapara Yuga. So all these pastimes were already present before it even happened. Is that
about Lord Krishna? Yeah. Oh, good.
That's what she was saying. That was it predicted originally?
Okay. I got it. Yes, all these pastimes. So, yeah, because these incarnations are cyclical, right? Vedas are eternal. Information is already there. It's just a matter of manifestation. And these incarnations are cyclical. In that sense, yes, Mataji. Yeah, in that sense, yes. But more glorification is given and more explanation about the pastimes that has already happened in the previous one is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Ashwini Mataji. Thank you. That question, yes, yeah. Since these incarnations are cyclical, information was already there.
And regarding the Vedanta Sutra question Mataji asked, Mataji, this is how I understand, please correct me, that Vedanta Sutras are like sutras, one-liner or codes talking about the Lord.
Yeah.
And when we say that Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra, Srimad Bhagavatam giving the explanation of those codes so we understand what it means by describing the Lord, describing the devotees. Is this correct? Is this what we mean?
Yeah. Vedanta Sutra, it has 555 one-liners. Okay. All those 555 are divided into 4 chapters. Srimad Bhagavatam is giving the summary of all these 4 chapters put together. And what is the content of that summary? It is telling about who the absolute truth is, which is Lord Krishna. And it is talking about Abhideya, the path to realize Lord Krishna. That is the process of bhakti, reciprocation with Bhagavan. That's all present in Bhagavatam. And it is also, Srimad Bhagavatam is also talking about Prayojana, which is the 4th chapter in Vedanta Sutra, which is loving reciprocation or Krishna Prema. So all those 4 chapters, which are 555 Vedanta Sutras, are covered in Srimad Bhagavatam about Lord Shri Krishna. So that's how Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary or the summary of the Vedanta Sutra.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Mataji, one last. I know it's already late. It's one quick thing.
Yeah.
And even Bhagavad Gita, Mataji, I thought was also existing, because doesn't Krishna say that this knowledge I gave it to the sun god, like that? So
yeah, in a way, there are 2 levels of understanding this, Prabhu. Bhagavad Gita spoken one, we can say it's in Kurukshetra Dwapar Yuga. But the message of Bhagavad Gita is about 5 eternal principles: Kala, Karma, Bhagavan, Jiva, Maya. 5 eternal principles. This message is eternal. You take Srimad Bhagavatam, you take anything Vedic, all these 5 components are to be touched. So, because Vedas are eternal, because these 5 components are eternal, that they were ever present. But just that the words of Bhagavad Gita were spoken in Dwapar Yuga, all those 5 components, the essence of that 5 components are came out in the chapters of as Bhagavad Gita in Dwapar Yuga. So the eternal components are always present, and the knowledge about that components was always given to the rishis in the disciplinic succession. So that was already present. But the specific words of Bhagavad Gita are spoken in Dwapar.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, one small clarification. Along with the 4 Vedas and the Vedanta Sutras also given by Lord Krishna to Brahma in his heart, and from there we getting it. Is that right, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. We can take that one. Yes.
And
because it's a Veda Vyasa that compiled the Vedas, and he is the one who gave the Vedanta Sutras. Yes, Prabhu, we can take it.
And one of the rishis who was in Veda Vyasa position, he converted that Vedanta Sutras into Srimad Bhagavatam for...
No, the same person.
Okay.
The same Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa who compiled the Vedas, who wrote the Vedanta Sutra, wrote Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Hari. Thank you to you all. It's past 9:30. We'll pause. I'm thankful for your association for the Bhagavatam discussion on Bhagavatam, Lord Shri Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram